So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shego Gunano. I'm the CEO and founder at Ijebu Market. So first, let me tell you about Musa and Tony. Musa is an uneducated smallholder farmer somewhere in northeastern Nigeria who lives on less than $2 per day. And we have 10 of millions like him in Nigeria, as well as 10 of millions of him across Africa. And this is Mr. Tony. I'm also in the picture with him. He's my neighbor. He's an educated potential farmer. And we have also tens of millions like him as young Nigerians as well as middle-aged Nigerians who are interested in agriculture. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Tony reached out to me and asked me, Shegun, I actually have like some acres of land in my village. Please, two things. What can I plant there? And who can I sell to? And I told him, sir, let's have this discussion later. We had the discussion. And when he finished with me, he said, Shegun, in his words, I am not doing anything until Ijebu market is ready. So you need to know why he said that. Please come along with me. First, we need to discuss about the problems that Musa is experiencing that made Mr. Tony say he's not getting started first. One is the issue of where Musa cannot cultivate his entire land. Most people only cultivate just a fraction of their land because of several issues like market access and other things. And secondly, when Musa even cultivates his land and he plants like 1 to 2 some maize on his land, he gets 1 to 2 metric tons on a land that is supposed to get 6 to 9 metric tons. He will still lose 20 to 60% of that to post-harvest losses and harvest losses. And when you combine this is a $203 billion Nigerian problem and a $650 billion African problem. Now, these are the solutions that made Mr. Tony impressed. One, we're already building supply contracts with key manufacturers. And after doing some steps, this set of smallholder farmers and potential farmers like Musa and Mr. Tony will get seeds, will get fertilizer, as well as extension service and support to ensure that they maximally cultivate their land. Next is for the harvest losses, to prevent the harvest losses, we provide extensive harvest support, logistics to pick up harvest, and ensure that it's delivered to cold or dry storage or direct to the people that have built the demand contract to ensure that once that is done, for anybody that plants, you're able to know that at this also point in time, I'm harvesting, we are picking up, and you're getting your returns as it is moved to customers like manufacturers, exporters, and international buyers. That we've actually been able to build orders close to around $2 million as of between end of 2020 to 2021. And we are only able to fulfill just about $600,000 of that because of finance. As we've been making most of our earnings from product sales, trade brokerage, trade management, logistics, and finance, although 70% of our transactions actually came from product sales. And the market size of this for agriculture sits about $3.5 trillion globally and around $400 billion in Africa, at least in the basic sense, excluding processed agricultural commodities. Of course, everyone will say, you need to actually, who are your competitors? You have competitors. Truly, well, we have Apex, we have Babagona, we have Thrive, we have Harvest Plus, but we don't see them as competitors. We actually see them as partners and collaborators. In fact, even one of them, a transaction that we're supposed to conclude between Boko and to some parts of the Southwest, as well as some place called Gabrichede in Taraba, to move some also things to the Southwest for them as of last week was between $100,000 to $200,000. But because we couldn't facilitate that, we had to cancel that off. And you will guess why would they contact us? It's due to our own unique advantage of our supply chain efficiency, because they know we have presence even across the border, off to Maradi in Niger Republic, to Gabra in Cameroon, to some parts of Chad. So we have the country covered for most food and agricultural commodities. And we also had other competencies like our low-cost infrastructure, technology, as well as our access to varieties. And for us to be able to provide these for all the Tonys and all the Musas everywhere, we're looking at incurring some expense of around $4 million for between a period of 24 months and profits of around $7 million. And for us to be able to do this, we need to actually take things much more serious. And like our speakers have earlier talked about things like governance, regulatory structures, and everything. We need to put much more things in place to be able to fulfill all that. And that is why we're actually looking at, getting a kind of pre-seed, say, of around $6 million, then $10 to $20 million debt capital commitments that is required for these core commodities, and to also help us to build our team, build our technology, working capital, partnerships and some collaborations, and some cold storage and dry storage leases and others. So these are things that are actually essential for us to be able to put there, because honestly, there are things that we are seeing about food and agricultural commodities across the country that we will actually still feel the very big impact in 2023. Let me just leave it there. We actually have a very great team. My background is chemical engineering, and I understand process and flow. And I'm a systemic designer, salesman, and I'm a social innovator. Tech person, Shola, is a senior software engineer, full stack. And we also have a field agri consultant, Mr. Abayomi. And with this, we're also looking at building an extensive team around ourselves to be able to ensure that we deliver this for all the Musas who are tens of millions in Nigeria and Africa, as well as all the Mr. Tonys who are tens of millions in Nigeria and Africa, also to ensure that we are able to feed ourselves, feed the world, and ensure that because in as much as we are looking at things as financial inclusion, we need to understand that these farmers, as we look at money in our pockets as capital, they also look at things like soya, things like maize, things like dawa, that's sorghum, and also as capital. So this is also a form of financial inclusion. And let me just say thank you everyone for listening. Cheers.